Good Monday morning, everyone. Hi, hello, how are you? I am Renita D. Davis. I am your host. Welcome to Faith Cafe. As we take a sip of God's grace and mercy, as we walk through this thing we call faith on a daily basis, this is our Monday morning Faith Cafe, and I want to say good Monday morning. Um, Today, I'm trying to share this thing to my group, and it's acting kind of funky just a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there it is. All right. Hold on a second. I know. Renita, why are you pausing? Because sometimes I have to do this thing. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get going. All right. So, like I said, welcome to Faith Cafe. We are Today we are in the month of December again. Uh, we've got not too many more days till Christmas. But for my, first of all, my 45, my first 45ers, um, how are you doing on your first 45? I know it's a struggle. I know that we can't always do it every day like we would like to. But it is a process. It is a process where we go through and we take the first 45 minutes of our day and we give it to God and we allow Him to pour into us what we need for the day. We give Him our day. We thank Him for this day. We meditate. We listen to music. We do everything except get on our phones and find out what has happened in the world because those things can be a distraction. So let's get our first 45 going. Um, please, it makes your day so much easier, so much nicer when you have that first 45 going. Now, to my entrepreneurs, we are at the end of the quarter. And my question to you is, how is it going? What have you added? What have you critiqued? What have you rearranged? What have you left away? What have you, thrown out because it didn't work, right? Um, what are the things that you have done to make sure that you are still moving forward? Okay. We need to always be moving forward. If God is giving you this vision, this dream, and you know that God is in it, He is going to provide for you, right? But there is still some work that you have to do. Are you business minded enough, right? Are you, is it about the ministry? Okay, because our ministry is always about helping others. Our ministry is always about serving others. In the process of that, we are exhibiting God like features or factors or characteristics or whatever you want to call it. We're representing God in the things that we do because we're helping those who cannot help themselves, or we're helping those so that what we do is a benefit to others. Okay. And that's a great segue into what we're going to be talking about today, because today we are be going into Hebrews 10, chapter 10, verses 23 to 25. And I want to talk to you about staying close. Okay. When we are on our journey, I'm gonna back up. When we have friends, our friendships can be very, very close. I have a couple of friends that I can say that I am very, very close with. I'm close to them in different ways. And what does that mean? I have learned over time that even though I have friends, they're friends for different parts of my life. Okay. That doesn't mean that I like one more than the other. It just means that they are suited for that particular space for me. I don't, you know, put one over the other. They're all my good friends, but they are very effective in certain places in my life, and I consider them friends. One of my good friends, very good friend, I value her opinion, I value her knowledge. I value the things that she says to me. I value them and I take them to heart. That is how I know that she is my friend, because whatever she says to me, I consider it. I think about it. I sit with it, you know? Even if it's something that I don't want to hear, I sit with it because I know that one, this person would never do anything to steer me wrong. How do I know that? I know that because I am close to them. I know that because I spend time with them. I know that because we have conversation. Hmm, relationship with Christ. If you're close to him, you know him because you have conversation with him. You know him because you read the word. You know him because you have interactions. You trust and value what he says so that he can speak to you and you can hear. Hmm, the friend, right? Stay close. So let's go to Hebrews 10 and the 23rd verse. It says, "Let us hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised." Okay, so let's stop right there. First thing it tells us to do is to hold fast to the profession of our faith. So the question is, what is your faith? What level are you? Okay, so first question, what is your faith? What do you profess? What is it that you can hold on to? Now, as a believer, the thing about our faith, it grows because we have experiences with God, because He calls us friend, because we have that relationship, it grows. And so our experiences with Christ c- increases our faith. Because we see now, what does it say? For he is faithful that promise. We recognize and we receive and we experience the promises that he has for us that's written in the word, right? So when we receive those promises and when we understand those promises and when we feel those promises, when they are a part of what our daily life, then our faith grows. So the scripture says, hold fast to the profession of your faith without wavering. Do not go from side to side. As you get more seasoned in this walk, that wavering becomes less and less. That wavering may only come when it's something new. That wavering, even when it's something new, you may have apprehension, but you're not wavering because you're standing firm. So as you grow in this thing, as you walk in this thing called faith, as the relationship with Christ, your relationship with the Father, as you read the word, as you do the things that keep you close, you should know that your faith should not waver. You have to hold fast to it. So that's a process. That's a process, and that's a thing that we have to do. We have to hold fast. That's not something that just stays with us. It says, let us hold fast to the profession. We have to do something. We have to do something. We have to physically, mentally, spiritually do something. Holding fast, not letting go. Don't let go of your faith. Whatever level you are at, don't let go because he is faithful that promise. So whatever you're holding on to, whatever it is that you are struggling with, whatever it is that's in your way, or whatever it is that's before you, how about that? Whatever is before you, make sure that you're holding on to your faith because your faith is what's going to get you through. Remember, I always say that faith is a foundation, right? It's the foundation. It is the foundation of how we walk. It's how we move. It's how we live. It's our faith because we're holding to those promises of God. Let's go to the second one. It says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. Okay, so here's the stay close part. Remember, I talked about friends. Now, having friends, there's those friends that they can provoke you, they can excite you or incite you to do things. Sometimes it's for the not for the good, and you understand you have to make that friendship, shift, right? But when you are holding fast and when you are holding with your profession of your faith, it says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. So, those relationships that we're having, right? We have to consider one another. So, let's break this down. What does it mean to consider? Consider in the Bible, in this scripture, okay, it means to observe fully, to discover, to perceive, and of course, the word to consider. So, think about this. Your friendships, your relationships with the people in your place of worship, when you consider them, you're observing fully their makeup, who they are. You're discovering things about them. You're forging a deeper relationship, right? When you discover something, you've had to have a deep dive. You've had to do some thoughts. You had to have a thought process with it. You had to think deeply. You had to make an effort. So when it says, let us consider, it's not just making a judgment. This is a work. The people that are around us, we have to consider them, listen to them, interact with them, discover who they are, have those conversations, get to know them so that we can provoke them unto love and to good works. What does that mean? When you are considering and you're thinking about someone, they may do something that you don't particularly, it's not what you would do. But if you're considering them and if you're really thinking deeply about them, your response is going to be one of love and of good works because you are not only trying to connect with them, but you can also be an example. You can also be that living epistle that they need because each one of us, and I know you've probably heard this before, that when you are in your place of worship, someone random may come to you and tell you that they have watched you and you are so inspiring, or they appreciate the way you worship. Somebody said that to me one day, that when they love when I am in service because they appreciate the way that I worship. And I thought, wow, that is, I'm in this intimate moment and there is someone watching me, looking for me. So when you don't show up, someone is missing something. That's just a little throw out there. Okay. We're all connected. So just know that your presence in the place of worship is very important. It is very, very important. So again, consider, to observe fully, to discover, to perceive. Provoke means to incite, to sharpen, to stir. Okay. So when you're provoking somebody, you're inciting them, you're sharpening them. This is what our relationship should be like. We should be close to each other, right? We should be close to our fellow laborers. just as we're close to our friends. When the girlfriend that I was telling you about, she always incites me. She stirs up things in me, the gifts that I have, the skill set that I have in the business world. She is my go-to. And it's a wonderful thing. And there is a caveat because we both love God. So in our conversations, there is a God conversation. There is a knowledge of Him, and we're always talking about Him. But within that, we have a deeper understanding. And she can sharpen me, iron sharpen iron, right? So she can sharpen me just as I can, sharpen her in areas. Not that any one of us needs it more than the other, but it's how we share information. Okay. All right. So that's the third part. So let's go to Hebrews 25. And it says, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is. What does that mean? The manner of some is. Well, first of all, forsaking means to abandon. Don't abandon, don't abandon coming together. Don't abandon, just thinking that you can be church all by yourself. You don't have to go to a service. You don't have to, I know we do video a lot. I'm doing video right now, right? But there is something about being in the presence, having that physical connection, having that physical space. It is very important that we not abandon the assembling, the gathering together, the learning of each other, because that's what assembling means, right? In the Bible, it means that when we come together, we are learning of each other, we are sharing knowledge, okay? As a manner of some is, because there are some people that they don't get together. You know those people. I know some people that way. But remember, we are to exhort one another, and so much the more. That's what that physical staying close requires. And that's the benefit of it, because not only do we exhort each other, but we get so much more. We get so much more. As ye see the day approaching. Now we all know that, we one of the main things of being a Christian is looking forward to the day that Christ comes. So as we see that day approaching, and everybody has their opinion when that day is approaching, right? But as we see things changing and as we see things lining up with the word, know this: we have to be connected. There is a purpose and a plan. He would not have put it in the Bible. He would not have allowed one of his apostles. I think it's an apostle. Hold on a second. Who did Hebrews? I always have to check because I always mess this one up. Hebrews. So I just lost it. Hold on. God bless America. Here we are. I flipped too many pages. So Paul wouldn't have said it. Okay. Paul would not have said, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves, if he did not know the benefits of it, right? If he did not have the experience of staying together and connected with others. There are so many more benefits than just seeing them in service. There are so many more benefits. And what I would like for you to do is think about when you gather with other believers, whether it's in church, whether it's a meeting, a gathering, you're hanging out with friends that are believers, whatever it is, when you do that, think about the more that you get. Think about all of those benefits that you get: the physical, the spiritual, the mental. What are they? What are those mores that you get? Because they are there and you have to think about those. Okay. So let's go back. The first one says, to hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. So if he's faithful that promise, we should at least stay committed. right? Are we committed? Are we committed to him? We need to be committed to him. What we say we should be doing. Then it says, let us consider one another to incite them into love and to good works, to stir them up, to think, to observe fully each other, to incite them, to stir them up, to sharpen them into good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, not to abandon the gatherings that we have where we learn and we teach and we exhort and we oh gosh, we glean from each other. There are certain people in my where I worship, and when I see them, I look for them. I do. I look for them. I look for them because I just feel good when I know they're in the space, right? It does my heart good to see people. And I'm one of those types of people that, I just love fellowship. I love, the physical fellowship. And so in doing that, it builds me up. And when I don't see them, I get concerned. I wonder. I say a prayer. Father, make sure that they're doing okay, cover them wherever they are. But it just does my heart so good when I see them. So there is a there is a more when we get together. And I want you to figure out what those things are. So my questions for you today. One, what is your faith like? What are you professing? Right? And you're supposed to be holding fast to it. So what is your profession? How far does it go? Number two, what is your the more? Identify those things. Because when you do that, you will understand how wonderful it is to get together with others. All right, guys, my time is up for today. I just wanted to encourage you to continue to stand in your faith, continue to gather together, continue to consider one another, continue to not abandon getting together. We are going to need this more and more and more as the days go by. So stay connected, my friends. Stay together. All right. All right. So, also, before I forget, I must tell you, I hope I do this all the time, but, to like and share, but also, Faith Cafe is going to another level. So please subscribe to the podcast. It's at Renita D. Davis _ Faith Cafe on YouTube. Get there. You will be able to see all of the vlogs. I'm the streams that I have done so far. So, and you're going to see something else real soon. So, coming soon, Faith Cafe is going to another level. So please come on in. I will no longer be on Facebook as it is now. There will be a shift. So please, please come on out, come on and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you. And as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for viewing, for sharing, for watching. This is going to be big in 2025. So thank you again. And again, you are watching Faith Cafe, where we take a sip of God's grace and mercy as we walk through this thing called faith, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Take care, my friends, and stay connected.